I'm Steve Amos, and I'm with the nonprofit HealthCode. And our mission is to empower people to live healthier, happier lives. And I'm so glad you're here because what we're going to be doing today is celebrating a decade, but even more important, where we're going in the future. And what's exciting about the people that are in this room is who you represent at what we've done in the past, but really where we're going in the future. What we're going to be doing today is reflecting on the past. We got some amazing speakers, which I'll share in a few moments. And then we'll have a wrap with a proclamation from the mayor being read, which is pretty exciting, and an optional walk led by, Paul, I hope you don't mind, I used the phrase, the godfather of really the Austin running community. And so a little bit of backup. It was in 2013 when one of the three probably major almost institutions in Austin that influenced us had an event. One of the institutions was GSD&M. How many people here know the ad agency, GSD&M? I was able to work with them for a decade, right at the beginning of this thing called the internet and what we do with it. And they kind of think, how do we think big to make a difference? Whole Foods. Who has done more to help transform the way people eat? And not only that, but personally, this aspect of conscious capitalism and what are we doing and making a difference and working together. And then South by Southwest. South by Southwest in 2013 had, I think it was their first health track. Hugh says hi. I think they're still recovering from South by, which was fantastic. And it was at the Radisson, if you know where that is, their first health track. And we heard the phrase, sitting is the new smoking. Sitting is the new smoking. Many of you may have heard that. That was our first go-round. Personally, I didn't jump on it right away. Like many of you in this room, I had family members that suffered a lot because of smoking. And both grandparents and then my aunts that had secondhand smoke. However, the research kind of showed and has proven out sadly over the last decade that is true. That what's happening because we're so sedentary, and it's just gotten worse. Well, a clever person on our team, Shanti, said, change behavior is really hard. In fact, I would say it's really, really, really hard to change behavior. What if we gamify behavior? We've been doing things with technology, but she was thinking, how can we now leverage technology to help people to set a personal goal for just even 1 month of walking, maybe yoga, skateboarding, whatever is going to work for them at whatever time of day. So not just on a Saturday race event, but what about on a Tuesday or whatever is not going to work for you and your family? And why don't we call this event, it's going to happen online where people can sign up and put in their data, work as an organization, and then a public leaderboard, we see what's going on. And why don't we call this the Million Mile Month? I said, sounds cool. That's the first person we met with to find out, okay, is this a cool idea? Catherine Robb. At the time, Catherine Robb, and then it was called Jim the Mayor's business group on health and wellness. And we met over here at a coffee joint on Congress Avenue, and we talked about it, and she said, I think our members need something like this. And then Paul may have been the second person we talked with, and he said, yeah, I think this is a good idea. Okay, now what? It's technology. Fortunately, we were able to have a couple new board members that was their gig. Ian Rousseau is still he's the president of our board, he's in New Jersey today. A lot of people traveling today, right? And he was with Silicon Labs, one of our first two funders. Thank you very much. Still working with you guys, I love them. and a fellow Douglas Ferguson. And they came up with a creative way for a nonprofit without a lot of money to pull this off. Okay, great. Well, how do you get the money? Fortunately, we had been working with Blue Cross Blue Shield for several years and leveraging technology and helping in education, which included health. And Blue Cross Blue Shield said, we see where this can go, and we need some work in the Houston area, especially some of the things we're doing at the time where they asked for us and kids. They said, we're going to be a part of this. And the second was Silicon Labs. So with their funding support, okay, now what? Okay. But you know how it is. Will it be used? So we had conversations with a couple of organizations. One, the city of Austin. We only had a PowerPoint. And Sherry Bailey at the time, I think it was, said, yeah, we need this. We can use this. And guess what? And we'll talk more about it later. A decade has passed, and their employees collectively have hit over 2 million miles. Is that like, let's give it up for City of Austin. Amazing. And we also talked with a fellow who had been the superintendent at Pflugerville ISD, and that was over in Houston with Fort Bend ISD, Charles Dupree. And he said, our teachers and our employees need this. When May, we have testing, March, we have spring break, April, perfect. So that's when we launched the Million Mama. And since then, as you'll see some of the information going around, we've had about 100,000 plus participants, more than almost 200,000 event participants. They've done 17 million miles, earned 3.3 billion calories. But as exciting as all the numbers are, and you know, we have to have metrics, as for probably everyone in this room, it's the personal stories of why we do what we do. And how this simple little program is helping people reconnect with their family before somebody went off to college. Dealing with cancer treatment, and now they knew the importance of now being physically active, but having that small personal goal, the difference it made in their lives. And there were hundreds of these stories. And so now, as we start our second decade, there's another story that is really important to us. And I'll go ahead and touch on that, because one of the things that came out with Fort Bend ISD and others are folks that are recognizing what's going on now with our kids. How many people here have heard the CDC report that 77% of our youth today cannot serve in the military even if they wanted to? Primarily because, why? They're unfit, they're obese, they're out of shape. And here's what breaks my heart. Yes, how many people here know the term canary in the coal mine? Okay, for those who don't know the term canary in the coal mine, once upon a time, miners, they'd be working and they had no indication of gases. And so they bring in a little birdie, and if the bird passed out, get out. A canary in the coal mine is an indication of bad things to come if you don't take action now. And if there's physicians in this room, you can tell this better than I, of what happens when you are 14 years old and 15 years old and 16 years old, and you're already unfit, and you're already on your way to becoming obese. It breaks my heart of knowing what they're going to miss out on and the cost. So there's a lot of work now that can only be done collectively, and we'll circle back on that. Okay, enough for me. We are so blessed here to have the leadership represented that have been such the power of why we've been able to do this. We're going to, in a moment, our Travis County Judge Andy Brown. He's going to be followed by Patty McCandless, Vice President of Government Affairs at Blue Cross Blue Shield. Xavier Hayward from Geico is going to come to present. We're so pumped. It's our latest partner, Geico and Geico Military. But he called Thursday. His son has been really sick, and they couldn't see him till late April. And he said, we just had a spot opened up at 9:30 this morning. So as you know, there's nothing more important than family. I said, you got to do that. And so let's all please be thinking about Xavier and his family. So we'll have a stand-in for Xavier. And then we have Sharon Haggy, who's amazing. He's on the HealthCode board. And by the way, Patty McCandless was on our HealthCode board when we first started back in 2009. Thank you, Patty. Sharon Haggy, Silicon Labs, he's on the C-suite team. He is their chief technology security officer. So talk about cybersecurity, if you're quick, grab him before you head out. And he's awesome. Speaking of awesome, Tony Kukalo. I have cards here to talk about Tony, but knowing him, it's like, hey, let's just get to it. Let's just get to this. But I've got to. So Tony heads up now, he's CEO of PCSI, Professional Contract and Services, Inc. They do fantastic work. And what are we doing to employ people with disabilities? Prior to that, he co-started, I'm going to have this probably wrong, but the National Security Innovation Council. Because he saw the need of how are we bringing together higher ed with the business community in Texas to address some huge needs that are being had by our defense industry. And you guys are probably responsible for bringing in billions of dollars. Also, for me to meet you and for me to meet Sean, because I met both of you at that event, which is pretty cool. Prior to that, he was assistant chancellor at the University of Texas Systems. And so we have UT folks, weren't you an Aggie, Patty? So we got some stuff covered here. And before that, he had an amazing career, Tony, with our U.S. Army. And he started at West Point, and when he retired from his 25 years as a 2-star Army Major General, and there's so many things to share about what he's done, from head of the War College to being at the Pentagon to being over probably almost 21,000 plus soldiers and all. But it's funny because what he will tell you now is he's just, hey, I'm just a soldier. Tony, you're just a soldier the way Babe Ruth was just a baseball player, you know what I'm saying? And so at South by Southwest this year at the Capitol Factory, I had the opportunity to have a conversation briefly with the general who's the top general for all the National Guard. He's on the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Hokanson. And I said, Tony said hello. His face beamed, his eyes glowed, and he said, Tony is a great American. I know, but we I'm just so blessed with everybody in this room. Everyone has a story that they're doing to make a difference in our community. So thank you all. So we have a special guest. The Lee's video, please. And then after that, if the speak, and then Andy, if you, Judge Brown, if you can come up, and then Patty, and then I'll speak for Xavier.
I'm Lee Leffingwell. You know, as a kid growing up in South Austin, I always appreciated the natural beauty in our backyard. We're blessed to live in a city comprised of such beauty, a city where we can take advantage of this gift all year long. And today, Austin continues to present countless opportunities to take advantage of the great outdoors, whether it's going for a bike ride around Lady Bird Lake, or taking a dip in the greatest swimming hole in the world, Barton Springs, or hiking along the Greenbelt. Austin presents activities for all ages, interests, and fitness levels. This coming April 1st, I challenge Austinites to go outside, explore our city's natural gifts, and help contribute to Million Mile Month. Million Mile Month is a 30-day challenge to all Texans to log 1 million collective miles of movement between April 1st and April 30th. It's an opportunity to change the way we think about fitness, to get outside and be more active, to engage with our community, and to get healthier. Even more importantly, our collective efforts will work towards ensuring that Texas children get healthier. So please join me in registering at millionmilemonth.org, and make sure to get your family and friends involved as well. I know I always find it easier to exercise and enjoy the outdoors when I have some good company. There's so many ways to contribute to our mileage goal, and join in this collective experience. It can be as simple as taking the stairs instead of using an elevator, or as bold as participating in a triathlon. Do whatever you can, and don't forget that every step is an important contribution to our goal. As the capital of this great state, Austin must set an example and do our part. Get fit, have fun, and help kids. Thank you.